Welcome to another Data Vault Q&A. I'm Julien Redmond from Ignition, and joining me again is my esteemed colleague, Nols Eberson, our resident Data Vault expert. Hi, Nols.
Hi, Julien.
Okay, question for you today, short and concise. Where do we apply business rules in the Data Vault?
Oh, what kind of business rules? and so, yes, business rules is a very broad category or statement that we need to be very careful about as such, because in the Data Vault, there are specific places within the flow of the architecture where we apply certain types of rules. So there are essentially three types of rules. There are what we call hard rules. These are rules that essentially allows us to process the data but does not change the content at all. So if you have a really complex nested JSON file, the unpacking doesn't change the data, but it makes it more easily processable into your Data Vault as such. So that's what we typically call hard rules. They are established by your IT teams, and that is for what is necessary to allow it to process. That's it.
Yep.
Then we have soft rules, or rules that actually change the content or grain of the data. Now, these rules we specifically do not apply before any of the data arrives. So hard rules allows us to process it, so that is fine before Raw Vault, and so that there's no dependency or issues there. But we always process the soft rules after Raw Vault is successfully loaded. This allows us to let the data flow in, even though we may have some issues with rules we need to sort out in due course. So it gives us great flexibility. But rules only produce yet more data. And there's a deep philosophical conversation that actually goes along with that, which we can spare for another day. But the definition of information drives directly into that. Now, for our audience, put in the comments what you think the definition of information is. And I can probably guess we will get a very wide range of definitions and no one agrees. That's okay. We will go to the scientific definition of information when we get to that conversation. But suffice it to say, rules is the evidence of the rules is the data that we have.
Yeah.
So the results of our soft rules, we will treat as another source system, so to speak, and it'll go back into the funnel and get modeled and integrated into the Data Vault as per normal, but the data will live in Business Vault, as it's called. Business Vault is not another layer. It's not a full copy of it. It's simply the things that got changed, nothing else. But it's integrated to that which already exists. And since we didn't have to lift and shift all of the raw data that didn't get changed, great efficiency is achieved. So that's where the soft rules come into play. And then we have a category we call it functional or consumption rules, which is use case specific. Not every report has the same filters. Not every report has the same security. Not every report has the same ratios. Not every report is at the same grain. And so where we manage those functional requirements for the end user report, they need to be right there in the consumption, in the information mart that the end users or the consumers of our data needs to consume. But it's absolutely bespoke to that use case. So we have these three categories of rules, and typically our functional / consumption rules do not produce new information.
Right.
We're not talking here about basic totals, averages, minimums, and maximums, these type of things. We're talking about there is essential, because those are all navigation sensitive, right? So they can't be pre-calculated as such. So those functional rules live in firmly in our information delivery, whereas our business rules, our soft rules, live outside typically of our warehouse platform, because you will have several technologies potentially involved in creating business rules, soft rules. AI engines do not sit in your SQL engine. They sit outside of that. And so you will need to understand where and how your derived information comes from. Very important for your derived information, for your soft rules, for them to participate in the warehouse to be integrated. They need to provide us the lineage and the definitions of what they have derived. Otherwise, no one has any idea where they come from or what it actually is. And so that's the requirement. That's the price to play in the business law.
Perfect. That's great. I think that was a really good explanation. Thanks, Nols.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining for another Data Vault Q&A. There'll be another one shortly, and we'll see you then.
See you soon.